1-800-449-8255, baby. I'm sitting in front of this Walmart doing Uber Eats, but my wife went into Walmart right here on the Clark the Shit Show, you guys. I'm going to talk about incredible album. 1978, just 13 years old, Clark the Shark in Redondo Beach in Torrance. And I hear this, and I look at this cover. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, like a fake Led Zeppelin or like a fake Who or, you know, pseudo Kiss. I don't know what it was, you guys. See, this one guy on vocals who's terrible. But the band isn't the band without him. And then, of course, I refused to buy this, you guys. I mean, me, Clark the Shark, I was like, I'm into quality. I won't buy that. Whatever the fuck this shit is, I ain't buying it. But then I would hear it on the radio. And then somebody down at by El Retiro Park bought this or had this in their room. You know, I go down there, down at Ted's, the bassist of the Greenhouse Effect, GE. And of course, it is legend that we would have our beginnings down there at 136 Vista del Parque. And there was a Van Halen album down there when I was just a kid, 1980, 81, 15, 16 years old. And I played this album, you guys. And I was like, when I heard Runnin' with the Devil, the first track, okay, if you're just 20 right now, here in 2024, today is, I guess, December 2 or 3, 2024, you guys, Tuesday night. Monday, I didn't do a Clark the Shark show, having all kinds of trouble with data and True Connect, Verizon, trying to pay for all this shit, all on the salary of an Uber Eats driver. Yours truly, me, Clark the Shark. But anyway, let's frame the situation. 15 years old, 1980. Pretty sure it was 80, maybe 81. I was 16, but I heard the first song on this, and immediately, I got to see these guys live. I noticed a few things. Okay, and I'm speaking right to you. If you're just 19 or 18 years old here in 2024, you're just a kid born long after 9/11, when Mohammed Atta and those terrorists from Al-Qaeda flew those jets into the World Trade Center, my World Trade Center, me, Clark the Shark, right here on WABC Radio, New York City. Don't listen to your liberal teachers or woke or, people around you. Fuck them. They'll try to get you like, oh, abortion, gays, abortion. They lure you in with that candy. Next thing you know, your fucking taxes are 60% or some shit. Milk costs $8 a gallon and gasoline costs $9 a gallon. And then you're fucked. A la Scranton Joe Biden era right here on the Clark the Shit Show. So if you're a young kid, dude, don't listen to liberals and Democrats. My advice is don't have any friends. Don't even hang out with Republicans or Trump people either. Be yourself, be all alone, and don't listen to anyone. And then, draw your own conclusions and make up your own minds. They do that all the time right here on the Clark the Shit Show. But the thing about Van Halen, 1978, the debut album, for you young people, I'm talking to you. I'm not really talking to classic rockers or, they know about this. But when I was a kid, 15, 16 years old in the South Bay, Redondo Beach, Torrance, California, and I heard this guy on guitar, and I was like, holy shit. He's way better than Jimmy Page or Pete Townsend or Clapton or Jeff Beck or any of those guys. I mean, I don't know if he's better. He's just faster or something. Difficult shit he's playing. Never heard anything like it. All the tapping. Steve Hackett from Genesis did tapping before, and some other guys too did it. Jeff Beck did it, I think. But, it was nothing new. But it was, because Eddie Van Halen's guitar was a revolution, you guys. Kind of like, when Blake Douchebag broke out on MTV in 1991. Well, this was like that in 1978. This music was powerful, melodic, really fucking good. It was almost like punk rock. It was heavy metal, hard rock, but no. It's just hard rocking, good time music. Now, there are flaws with this. David Lee Roth's vocals, terrible. I mean, this guy's like Anthony Kiedis from the Chili Peppers type of shit. Like, neither of these guys should ever have been signed. They can't sing. I mean, they have no redeeming quality or value whatsoever. But David Lee Roth, for better or for worse, for whatever he is, he goes right with Van Halen. And then, of course, later on, David Lee Roth would quit, or, they would mutually part, like 1985. And then they would get with Van Hagar, a huge cardinal sin in rock and roll. Now, Van Hagar can sing pretty good. He's got like a great voice. I'm still at Walmart, you guys. But he's just geeky and lame. I mean, there's something about Van Hagar that sucks, and you want Diamond Dave back. Even though Diamond Dave can't sing, has no talent, he doesn't belong in a band, he's got to be with Van Halen. I mean, it isn't Van Halen without David Lee Roth, you guys. It isn't. Now, how do I describe the sound of Van Halen? When I first heard it, when I was 15 in 1980, 16 in 1981, it's like The Who live at Leeds with like better guitar or something, or like Zeppelin 1 and 2 with way better guitar. But no, nothing like those. It has a sound all its own. Maybe it's more like Kiss, or I don't know, you guys. These guys are inventing not just a sound, but like a whole genre. And then, of course, after this album, every hard rock and or heavy metal band would copy this guitar, and they would want to be like Eddie Van Halen. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show, 1-800-449-8255, the Shark Lemon Ding Dong, the Sharkadoodle Doo, from the golden EIB shitrophone. It's not a sharkerphone nor a microphone. It's the Wolfman Jack on crack, motherfucker, Clark the Shark. And I'm talking about Van Halen 1. An important album to me, Clark the Shark. Now, when I heard Eddie play guitar, I got scared. I wanted to play guitar, but when I heard these solos and the tapping and just all the difficult shit, my main worry was I want to rock like this, but I don't want to seem generic like a robot just copying it. You know how there's a little 10-year-old kid at Guitar Center just shredding either on guitar or violin and note for note. I didn't ever want to be that, you guys. And I think a lot of metal bands fell into that right here on the Clark the Shit Show. They did. And when I was with GE first, with the three-piece, Phil, Ted, and myself, I was on drums singing, because I wanted to be like Keith Moon, John Bonham, but then I wanted to sing, like David Bowie from the drum kit in honor of, legends, Levon Helm, the great and immortal Don Henley, the guys who sing from the drums right here on the Clark the Shit Show. I wanted to be one too. And I had a dream that our three-piece band could just be humongous or something, like Phil Keegan blazing these solos while I'm just kicking ass, back there like Keith Moon, and then Ted's, shredding or something like John Paul Jones or Entwistle or something, just or maybe like Jack Bruce, just ripping it up like we're Cream. But of course, I would, 1988, by that time, GE was developing. And then by 89, we had just turned into this incredible thing. And then by 1990, with Coke snorting, some of these tracks, we were on another level. And the whole time I was mailing tapes, not just to indie punk labels, Twin Tone, SST, Sub Pop, all those. But I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going for major labels because we are a major label act. And I'd be going to Geffen and all these companies going all the way back to 1986, 85, before GE. When I was by myself, I was making pretty good solo demos. And I was, copywriting them and then mailing them. And, getting rejection letters or no response at all. But I did get some interesting responses when I would get a response, which was rare, but it would happen. And one of the guys I spoke with, two of the guys, Gary Gersh at Geffen and a guy named Craig Aronson, who I'm not sure if he was at Geffen yet, but he was, him and Gersh were talking to me about the first demo by GE and about, the next one, 1989, with The Current Affair and all that shit, Snake. And then Coke snorting, 1990, Waiting for Your Love to Fail, Virus Osiris. I definitely had some interest, but people were a little hung up or confused on exactly what genre we were, And even I was like, well, there's this coming thing, the underground, Flipside Magazine, Ben is Dead, Maximum Rock and Roll, all that. On the underscene, there is a hard rock. I would tell these guys there's a hard rock thing coming, but it's not metal. And it's, I just gave it a word, you guys. I threw out the word grunge because that's what they called Neil Young or, And this was like 1987, like we would literally record in Ted's room and we would, mail the demo, not professionally, just on a boombox. It was so good. I wanted labels to hear it, and then I would actually get responses from major labels, not just punk and indie labels. I'm talking major labels: Sony, Capitol, Geffen, MCA, all of them, Island, records, big labels, you guys. Whoa, I got an Uber order. I forgot to turn the thing off. Oh, you guys, look at that. No way. 565. No way. You guys, I'm not doing 6 miles for 565. I'm not doing that one, you guys. I'm just going to let it go right here on the Clark the Shit Show. That Uber's paying less, and that thing should be $12.65. Uber's taking the money. The people are trying to pay me, but Uber's taking the money. Right here on the Sharky Show. But anyway, the Greenhouse Effect GE, the three-piece, 1988, got its inspiration from an album a decade before, 1978, called Van Halen 1, along with the Yardbirds, Cream, The Who, Live at Leeds, Zeppelin, and all that shit, Jimi Hendrix, and me personally, Clark the Shark, like the Count 5, the Standells, and all that shit. But Van Halen seemed to encapsulate it all, to me, Clark the Shark. And so the Greenhouse Effect, Precarious, Number One, Think About It, Racers, Actor, all those songs, The Magic Man, kind of inspired by the Yardbirds, the Beatles, The Who, the Stones, the Count 5, the Standells, Cream, Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, all that shit, Clapton. But definitely by this energy, Van Halen, where the guy's hitting the edge of the cymbal. It's not tight. It's not clean. It's just this explosive music that's messy. And, it is tight. It's together, but it's like the Who Live at Leeds. It explodes. And even though the lead singer, David Lee Roth, isn't that good or something, like he's terrible, you still listen because you're just like, this is a party, man. This is fucking kicking ass. And you are convinced or something that you're just in the middle of the fucking party right here on the Clark the Shit Show, 1-800-449-8255. But Yeah, dude, this guy's guitar was a revolution. There was nothing like this, you guys. Nothing. I mean, the closest thing might be like UFO, like, or Michael Schenker, or maybe Richie Blackmore with Deep Purple, or I mean, dude, Jimmy Page isn't in no league with this fucking guy in terms of speed. I mean, Jimmy Page might have soul or blues and all that, but Van Halen has melody. Dude, these songs are melodic, and then album after album after this, these guys would remain melodic. I mean, they would never be as good as this album ever again, you guys. But and then they ran out of ideas pretty soon and had some albums where they're doing, Pretty Woman, like covers and shit. And then I'm not too wild about, 1984, where the keyboards just invade the band. It's still interesting, though. There's still something about it that's, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, you listen. And I'm not saying Van Halen are super quality, all-time great rock and roll. They're messy, energetic, melodic, like The Who. But like The Who live at Leeds, like if The Who could have, back in the 60s, been as powerful in the recording studio as they were live, that would have been something along the lines of Van Halen. I mean, this is the sound The Who were after, and they never really got. But and Zeppelin too, and a bunch of other bands wanted to be like this. And then all of a sudden, these guys just kicked ass. Not just with the great guitar solos, the drummer's great. The bassist here, Michael Anthony, very underrated. He's good. Kicks ass. The weak link is Diamond Dave. I mean, he's terrible. I can't stand his vocals. And there are a few singers in rock like him. Anthony Kiedis comes rocketing right to mind. So does the guy in Smashing Pumpkins. Like, neither of those guys should ever have had a record deal. They don't have any talent at all, and neither does Diamond Dave. But with Van Halen, dude, he fucking goes right with this shit nicely. And I wouldn't have this band any other way, you guys. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. These songs, if you're just a kid, dude, you gotta, like, dude. I mean, the original songs, dude. Original. Dude, I don't care what the stars say. All music. Everybody likes this, though. Running with the Devil. Track 1, side 1. Amazing. Melodic. Great vocal harmonies. This is the way a band should be, you guys. For you young kids that are only 18 here in 2024, don't go join an indie band. Get into a band that's like Van Halen, Running with the Devil. And if you can play guitar that good, maybe Eruption. I doubt it. And then the cover of the Kinks, You Really Got Me. Van Halen makes it like their own song or something. They just, in a way I don't like it, but then in a way I do. I'm very torn, you guys. It's interesting. That being said, it kicks ass. You Really Got Me. And then, of course, Ain't Talking About Love. Awesome. Kick ass, you guys. And I'm the one I like, dude. These are melodic, atmospheric, kick-ass songs with awesome guitar solos, and the drumming is tight but powerful, and the edge of the cymbal, energetic, loud. Your ears bleed or something, or start ringing, even when the volume is down low, because these drums hit so hard. It's like harder than John Bonham, this fucking guy. I really love his drumming. Alex Van Halen, and you know me, Clark the Shark, I'm a drummer. And this guy really kicks ass. He makes the band, you guys. Nobody knows it. But him and Michael Anthony, the rhythm section here, you guys, they are the band. If you love Van Halen, that is what you love. It's not so much Eddie and Diamond Dave. It is just fat rhythm section kicking ass. Great drummer, great bassist, and Jamie's crying. Side 2, track 1, awesome. I like side 2 more than side 1. Atomic Punk, awesome. Real kick ass. Not metal. Don't ever call this metal. This is hard rocking, good time rock and roll. And I actually saw this band at the US Festival, you guys, 1983. And they were like the worst band playing or something because Diamond Dave was drunk and you could feel like they could be much better. And yet, whatever they were, it was really good and it like dominated or something. And you were kind of let down because you were like, dude, it could be so much better. And yet, it kicked ass in the moment. Like, you had to be there. Feel Your Love Tonight. Awesome, dude. I love these songs. Melodic, kick-ass guitar, and the rhythm guitar is kick-ass. I can't wait to feel your love tonight. Killer. My favorite song on the album is Little Dreamer. I like the minor, like E minor or whatever it is, A minor. I love it, dude. I love songs like that. Seems like maybe a little bit of a borrowed, recycled melody, but I don't care. I love it. And of course, Ice Cream Man. Diamond Dave just, he's your ice cream man. Stop him when he's passing by. All Sharks flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Awesome. And if there's like maybe a weak song, it's on fire, but I still love it. It kicks ass, you guys. The whole album is not, don't call it metal, dude. Don't do that because Eddie, the ghost of Eddie, rest in peace. He's with the Lord now. But Eddie would be pissed off. All these guys would be pissed if you call them metal. This is rock and roll, kick-ass rock and roll. Good time, kick-ass rock and roll like The Who live at Leeds or, I don't know, dude, Jeff Beck, Bogart, and Appice, kind of harder and more kick-ass than that. I can't put my finger on what this is, you guys, but it is a good time, melodic, atmospheric, beautiful. The guitars are just amazing. And if the guitar wasn't so technical and difficult to play, I would still love it if this had no guitar solos on it and it was just music. I'd be like, the songwriting is so good and the melodies are so awesome always with Van Halen. Shitty vocals and all, dude. I wouldn't have it any other way right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Talk radio at its finest worldwide because I'm reviewing music that I want you to buy, especially if you're only 17 years old, right here on December 2 or 3, 2024. It's Christmas season, you guys. There's Christmas lights everywhere. It's beautiful. Go buy some Van Halen at iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. This album really inspired me, you guys. I mean, you'll listen to She's a Bitch and then you live, or you don't really hear it there, but maybe, the way bands, The Who and Van Halen mix minor and major. I tried to do that too, and I think I succeeded, but definitely, dude, the White Black Thing song is Van Halen, you guys, without the guitar solo by Eddie. Sometimes I get a little sick of, guys shredding on guitar, and then I hate like metal in the late 80s, all that, Poison, Warrant, and all that Trickster and Slaughter and all that crap. But way, way before that, back in 1978, 79, there was a band kicking ass, dude, leading the way, paving the way for everyone else. Van Halen, you guys, from Pasadena, not far from where I originated, me, yours truly, Clark the Shark in Redondo Beach and Torrance. We loved Van Halen, you guys. We grew up on it. And when I heard this, dude, I was a little intimidated by the guitar, but I wanted to learn my own style of guitar that's like this. Of course, I'll never be as good as Eddie, But, watch Winers, Diners, and Social Climbers by GE, The Greenhouse Effect live, if you can find that video on Google Blogger, and watch me play guitar, you guys. I'm not saying I shred or any of that. You can feel, dude, that Eddie Van Halen, especially on Winers, Diners, dude, you can feel I am so into Eddie Van Halen, and yet I'm in an alternative indie punk band doing it. Very weird, you guys. I hated heavy metal. I mean, the heavy metal I like is like Iron Maiden, Rush, and shit like that. Rush isn't really metal. I shouldn't say that, but like good metal, Slayer, early Metallica, Iron Maiden. The bands that are good, dude. But when the shit like Poison and shit, I could do without. That band is just trying to copy Van Halen, baby. And they fail miserably. They don't even come close. Nobody does, not even me. Yours truly, Clark the Shark, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. I could never be as good as Eddie. Rest in peace, my friend. God, died of cancer. I guess he chewed on his guitar pick, and he used like these copper or platinum or brass picks or something in his mouth, and Eddie said it caused the cancer that later killed him. I don't know about that, you guys. Maybe, though. But I was sad, dude, to hear that Eddie Van Halen died. Very sad. God, dude, he died way too young, you guys. Eddie fucking Van Halen. Motherfucking greatest guitarist of all time, you guys. Cheesy, maybe overdone too fast, too much. And yet, it's got to be that way with Eddie, you guys. It's got to. He takes what Jimmy Page and Pete Townsend tried to do, and Clapton and Jeff Beck and all those guys, and then he does it. He actually takes like what Steve Howe and Steve Hackett were doing with Yes and Genesis, and then he does it right. He does, you guys, and makes a mockery of it, out of all of them. Yeah, man. Fucking Van Halen, dude. There's never been another band this great. At least at this fun rockin' style, this kick-ass garage rock, you guys. It's not really polished, and yet it is. It's like, I can't put my finger on it. If you're a young person, just 16, 17, 18 years old, right here in 2024 in the United States, go buy some Van Halen, especially this first album. I don't think they ever did another album this good, you guys. They are one of those bands where the debut was just kick-ass, kind of like Led Zeppelin 1. Kind of, not like that, but like that. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Amazing. I'm still at Walmart waiting for my wife, Valida, to return so we can keep doing Uber. But you guys do buy some Van Halen. This is good shit. Great shit. It's inspiring. And if you want to kick ass in a rock and roll band, I recommend Van Halen more than like AC/DC or other bands, you guys. These guys are it. This is like the closest thing to Young Man Blues or Substitute or Summertime Blues by The Who live at Leeds or live at Hull. This is it, you guys, but mixed with Zeppelin and like, dude, I don't even know, dude, Kiss, Deep Purple, everything. It's kick-ass, you guys. Buy it. This is Clark the Shark. And that's 10-4, Roger. I'm out. Peace.